What to do before making an offer on a house. Guys, by the end of this video, you're gonna know the 4 things that I'm looking for before I make the offer on the home. Hey guys, Cody Hoffine here, and for those of you that are subscribers to my channel, you'll know that I talk a lot about wholesaling. Wholesaling is one of the things that I love to do when it comes to real estate, and so this video is going to be more about making offers, knowing these 4 pillars of motivation that I call them. We're going to be going over them, and understanding that if you know these things, and if you're looking to get into wholesaling, that doing them correctly will allow you to get deals at 40 to 50 cents on the dollar. When it comes to talking with homeowners and getting ready to make that offer, it's crucial to understand that God gave you 2 ears and 1 mouth, meaning you need to listen more than you speak. But what exactly is it that we're listening for? What we're listening for is motivation. Motivation is one of the 2 pieces that need to be in place when you get a deal, not just any deal, but a deal at a discount. The other one is equity. Equity is just simply the difference between what someone owes on a home and what the home is worth. But we're gonna go deep into this motivation and what you need to be listening for. Again, we call it the 4 pillars of motivation. This is gonna be something to jot down and really work through, because the better you know these 4 pillars, the more discounted properties you're going to get. The first pillar of motivation is time frame. Time frame, what does this mean? How quick, how soon does someone need to move out of their property? Now, this ties directly into that level of motivation. If someone can be there forever, they don't need to move quick, they can be there for 6 months, they can be for the year, they don't care, that's not gonna show much motivation. But when you have individuals that come to you, for example, we've had individuals that they had a job transfer. They need to move and leave the state and be in their new state, in their new job in 7 days. And these individuals that we've worked with, they don't want to leave their family behind. They don't want them to deal with the home being sold while half of the party is in the other state, half of the family is here waiting for it to sell. No, that creates stress in a lot of people's lives. So for this particular family, they wanted to do it quick and they wanted to move super quick together. Now in doing so, being able to offer or be some kind of a solution to this allows you to get a home at a discount because you're solving the problem, and people are willing to sacrifice price when you solve a greater need that they have. In most cases, money is not all that they're looking for. The next pillar is condition. Condition of the home. What does that look like? We have individuals reach out to us all the time because their home is in such distress. One specifically, one that I will always remember, a few months into getting into wholesaling, I remember an individual calling out saying, hey, there's a few problems with the home, but all in all, it's not too bad. I remember going up to this doorstep and I'm knocking on the door and I see this flame go off in the background. Like in the window, this flame's cooking. I'm like, what is going on in this house? We open the door and there's smoke all in the house. There's individuals, there's homeless people, there's tents set up in the living room. There's probably 30 people on the main level just sitting there and sleeping out and living in this home. When we said there's a couple problems with this home, no, it was awful. And that flame that was going off, that was meth being cooked. When it comes to homes like these are ones that present motivation. Someone cannot, and usually when they're in that big of a distress, they do not have the money to fix it up. They don't have the proper way or the means to make that home the way it should be, to repair it, to fix it. Now meth, in most cases, you have to do so much. You gotta strip off sheetrock, you gotta strip out insulation, you gotta clean the ductworks. Most cases, you gotta get rid of the ductwork, you gotta get rid of the furnace and the AC because it blows all through the house. And for many people, when they hear that and they know that, they don't have the funds to do it. And so if you're willing to buy a house as is, in the condition it's already at, that they don't need to repair anything, they don't need to fix anything, but they can just turn it over to you as is, again, they're willing to sacrifice price because you're solving their greater problem. And that is buying the home in as-is condition. The third pillar of motivation is price. Now, I say this cautiously because in most cases, it's a deceiver. Most people are gonna tell you a high price. But every now and again, you're gonna be talking to an individual, and I say on the low end, like 1 out of 100 sellers you talk to, they may tell you a price where you're instantly like, whoa, that's a good price. I need to go out on this appointment and go see what I can do to get this contract. But in most cases, it's not gonna be that. They're gonna throw out a high price because that gives them room to negotiate. And much like us, if you're good at negotiation or really look forward at being a good negotiator, you're gonna realize you don't ever come in at your top number. You've got to start low so you have room to negotiate and come up to what's your max allowable offer. So knowing the price, it's not everything you should put your focus on, because in most cases, it's going to be a deceiver. It's not going to be a sign of motivation. But I have to put it on there as one of the pillars, because every now and again you get that unicorn deal where someone tells you the price over the phone and it's already a deal at the price they're saying. Before we move on to the fourth pillar of motivation, at this time I'd ask you, if you are liking this content, hit that like button. It may be something little on your end, but it does big things for me and it helps this algorithm so great people like you can continue to see this video. Also, hit that subscribe button so that you know when I'm sending out fresh content. The fourth pillar, guys, is the driver. Now, driver, think of it this way. If you're sending out direct mail, that's your marketing channel. You're sending it out. What is driving them to respond to that marketing piece? If you're cold calling and you're talking to someone, what is driving them to allow you to continue to talk to them? Why have they not hung up on you? Why are they semi-engaged and interested in what you have to say about their home? That's our job. This is the biggest pillar that we need to spend most of our time focusing on. It's understanding that what drove them. And let me tell you some of the drivers that are out there, some of the things that you'll see a lot. And that is, if you're getting lists out there like tax delinquent list, probate list, behind on their mortgage list like NOD, notice of default, you'll notice that these are all drivers. These are all people that are going to be calling you. This is our job. We need to figure out what is it that's driving them to call us, to respond to our marketing, and how can you serve them at a high level. So when it comes to people behind on taxes, people behind on their mortgage, people that are going through divorce, special case, for example, my team was out of town. Every now and again, when our team hits their goals for the whole entire year, we'll send them out for a vacation. This one particular year, we had to send them out and we had no acquisition team in town. So it was me. I had to put the gloves back on. I had to go on the appointments. I go out to this home and come to find out that the dad had passed away years ago. The mom was living there, and then now the mom had passed away. So all these siblings had received this or inherited this home, and it was through probate. So they're sitting out as the new owners of this home. They didn't have money between them to fix it up. So there's already some big drivers here, right? They inherited a home that was distressed. They didn't have money to fix it up. And then they had one of their siblings that was living there that was doing drugs in the house, and they couldn't get her out. Whenever they'd get her out, she would just break another window and sleep there the next night. It was a stress factor for this family. And in sitting with them and understanding the driver, right? Understanding that they have a home that has like the condition problem. We talked in pillar number 2. But then to know that, man, we don't have money to fix this up. We need to find someone that will buy this as is. We have a sister that keeps sneaking in there and living in there and doing drugs. Now, in listening to this, I talked to them, I said, what's your guys' options? What is it you're hoping to get out of this? They're like, well, we need to get this amount of money. And they said the high price. Now, I could have instantly said, nope, that's not going to work for me. But what I did is I said, I may not be your buyer. It may be that you need to go with like a retail buyer, where you put it on the market with an agent. And he's like, well, we can't do that. There's been drugs done in this house. And I know they're going to get an inspection. I said, okay, so what's your goal? What are you hoping to do out of it? Well, we need this much money. And I said, I can't do that. The best shot is you're going to have to clean this whole house up, fix it up so that you can get a retail buyer and get them in here to pay that price that you're looking for. But if you're looking for someone that can do this hassle-free, where you can sell it as is, where you don't have to fix it up, you don't have to mitigate the meth that's been smoked in the home, then yes, we can do that, but we can't do it at that price. Now again, knowing that my price was probably around 150, I said, but what if I could buy this at 120? And they were like, no, that doesn't work. We need 200. I said, okay, so how close can you get to this deal? And they came down, and it happened to be on that 150 number. I sat there for a minute talking to them, and ultimately we moved forward and we put a contract together that allowed me to purchase this home at the price I needed at a discount so that I could make a profit on this home. Hey guys, let me give you a pro tip real quick. One that we use in all of our trainings with our own team, but also in the trainings that I do nationwide with students. And that is benefit versus solution. You might hear those words and you think benefit and solution. Aren't those the same words? They sound like it, right? But they aren't. Benefit is all about you, the wholesaler. Solution is all about them, the seller. So what can you do to make sure you have a solution mindset versus a benefit? What does benefit sound like? Every wholesaler, every investor always says the same thing. We buy your home as is, there's no commissions, there's no real estate fees, and you can close on the day of your choice. Everyone says that, and they pitch it as, this is why you want to go with me, because I buy it as is. There's no closing costs. This is why you want to go with me, and it's all about them. A solution would require you to listen to the seller. This is where you are going to listen to what's going on in their life, and they're going to be like, the thing is, Cody, we don't have the money to fix up our home. So instead of saying, oh man, that's why you want to go with me, because we buy homes as is. Benefit, we don't want benefits. How do we become the solution? Okay, so if I was able to purchase this home as is, if my offer included where you don't have to fix this up, is that something that would help you? And they're gonna be like, yes, that would help us. Would you be willing to do that? Well, I don't know yet. I know that's something that you want that makes sense to you, so I'm gonna jot that down. And as you sit there and they're talking, they're like, oh, and we don't have money to close on this. We don't have money to bring to the table for closing costs. Benefit would be, oh my gosh, we'll pay closing costs. That's why people use us. Solution is, so if we're able to cover your closing cost, if that's something I'm able to do, is that something that would work for you? And I'd be like, oh my gosh, yes, that would be awesome. Are you willing to do that? I don't know yet. We'll figure it out. And if it makes sense, I'm going to try my best. I'm going to put it down there. But ultimately, guys, when you get into the solution mindset versus the benefit mindset, although they sound the same and you sound like you're pitching the same thing, solutions how we solve the problems. When you solve problems, you get homes at a deep discount. So what do you need to do before making an offer on the house? Ultimately, guys, when it comes down to those final stages, you've talked about it, you've listened to the pillars, you've done everything. Now you're getting to this final stages. Ultimately, before you throw out a, yes, I'm ready to buy your home, or yes, let's put this home under contract, I want to buy it at 160. Get the commitment before the commitment. Ask them, hey, if I'm able to pay 160 for this home, is this something that we can put an agreement together today? If they say no, I'm not committing that I'll pay 160. Notice that I said if I'm able to pay 160, is this something we can put an agreement together today? If they say yes, and only when they say yes, that's when you pull out your agreement, get it signed, and walk out of there with the contract. If you like this video, because we went into a little bit about the negotiation, what you need to do before getting that contract, before making that offer, then what I've also done is also include a link down below to my free crash course on negotiating real estate contracts. All you gotta do is just click on that link down below in the description box, and I'll see you guys in that training.